all avocado on toast, entitlement and job hopping, and you'll never get them off social media long enough to put in any real hard work. And don't get me started on Gen Z. If you can get them to look up from TikTok long enough to actually show up to the office, they'll find a way to take everything you say personally and start a bloody protest. The problem is, it's not just young people anymore. The oldest millennials are now 43 years old and make up 35% of the workforce, more than any other generation. And full disclosure, I'm one of them. And Gen Z are turning 24, already representing 20% of the working population. So brought together, they're more than half of the people available to you. Combined, they are already shaping not just the future of work, but the reality of business today. Stereotypes have never been that helpful when it comes to what to expect from an individual. And this is 100% true for generational labels. Are kids today on screens more than 20 years ago? Well, probably yes, but so are 50, 60 and 70-year-olds. And yes, there are identifiable traits across generational groups, but honestly, they're usually nuances rather than fundamental differences. Because the truth is, most people in the millennial or Gen Z camps want the same thing from their work as most other people do. They want to be part of something bigger than themselves, first of all. They want to work for companies that make a positive impact in the world and where what they do matters. They're not happy to just make a paycheck unless that's the only choice available to them. In fact, 75% of millennials consider purpose more important than a paycheck when choosing a job, according to research done by Glassdoor. So, to engage them, you need to not only define and communicate your mission and vision, but to connect their day-to-day work to it, just like you should for everyone else in your business. And they want flexibility and to be treated well. You know, COVID-19 brought us an unprecedented amount of flexibility in our working lives, and that came with negative consequences as well as benefits. But the cat is out of the bag now, and as much as Elon might want to put it back in, hybrid and remote working will be a fact of life from now on. Right now, the job market's challenging, which means that employers hold more power than usual. Unfortunately, that's leading to some pretty poor treatment of people, but the market will turn. It always does. Embracing flexibility as much as you can and handling your team with respect remain good long-term strategies, and that's what the smart companies are doing. Both millennials and those in Gen Z want opportunities to progress and grow, and so does everybody else. The impatience that they've been credited with might be more a symptom of the ridiculous 2021 job market than of anything else. And so it's true that sometimes expectations need to be managed regarding, the tempo of that growth. The need to grow itself, however, is a fundamental one for all humans. And in a world where every piece of knowledge, wisdom, and insight is available, well, why would you not encourage your team to expand their capability and become better versions of themselves? Finally, and again, like everybody else, members of these two groups want recognition and they want to be rewarded for their work. Now, recognition and reward are key motivators for every organization and every generation. The only difference is that millennials and Gen Z employees as a group are much more willing to ask for what they want than previous generations were. And this is where a lot of the entitled narrative has come from. Some of it justified, some less so. Personally, I'd argue that for the most part, being open about what you want is a good thing because it at least opens a dialogue and allows an employer to explain what someone needs to do in order to get the things they want. The underlying fact is that people are more or less driven by the same things as each other. There are indeed nuances in how different groups express themselves, engage with their employers, and approach their work. But operating on the basis of lazy stereotypes is, and always has been, of limited use, and it could lead you to alienating 55% of your workforce. Millennials and Gen Z now make up the majority of your business. Will you adapt?